I want you to imagine for a moment a world where all of us look exactly the same. We don't have physical features or clothing to separate us. Women don't have curvier bodies. Men don't have bigger biceps. We're all just floating gray blobs. Gray blob Billy and gray blob Mike. I'll tell you one thing. I don't know what the hell people would post on Instagram in this world, but theoretically, I think that you can trace every single problem that we have in society today to how we look. Because wanting to look good physically, that's the source of vanity, envy, greed, lust, probably most of the seven deadly sins. We have this obsession with our appearance and the appearances of others today. It definitely affects women more than men, but men are affected too. And as much as, I want to say that it's just superficiality that is the problem here, I think that there's a tangible, we can actually trace this problem to one object, to one thing that we have in our homes that is perpetuating this issue, that's making it worse for men and for women and for children and adults. It's a mirror. If you could think of a world with no mirror, where you couldn't see your reflection, where you couldn't take a photo of yourself and you had no idea what you looked like at any given time, would this be a better world? It almost sounds like an episode of Twilight Zone or Black Mirror, where you were born and I guess you would know like everything below your, you'd be able to know what you look at below your shoulders, but you wouldn't know what your face looked like. You wouldn't know what your hair looked like. Maybe you can feel the textures and make inferences, but you had no idea what you looked like. Would that be a better world? Because, let's face it, the problem, at the end of the day, is the problem that we're focused with how we look or we're focused with how other people look. I don't know about you guys. You take a photo with your friends and you guys all look at it. The first place where your eyes go is yourself. I bet a lot of listeners out there can relate to this. You take a photo with your friends and your friends love it. Your friends are like, this is great. And you probably say oh, you're only saying that because you look great. Or, I look terrible in this photo. You just look good. Let me ask you a question. How many times did you look at yourself in the mirror today? How many times? When you went to the bathroom, when you got dressed in the morning. How many times did you check the camera on your cell phone to see how you looked? How many times did you look into the reflection on the store windows as you walked by, if it was a beautiful sunny day, or the windows on the subway train, or the rearview mirror of your car? How many times? I bet it's at least 10, 15, maybe more than you think. I challenge you tomorrow, or maybe the rest of today, keep a tally in your mind every time you go to check yourself in the mirror. Or I mentioned habits, guys. I mentioned a couple episodes ago, the cue, routine, reward cycle. When you get that cue to look in the mirror and the routine of glancing and the reward of, validating yourself that you look good or fixing your appearance to look better, just take note of that. Be vigilant of it. And then kind of ask yourself, is this a healthy habit? Do I want to replace this routine with something more productive? Instead of, remember what I said in episode 6. I want to say it was episode 6. When you get that, the cue in order to receive the reward, replace the routine in there. And when you stop looking in the mirror, there will be so many tangible benefits. I can think of 3 right off the top of my head. If you stop looking in the mirror so much, first of all, the way you can start acting the way you feel instead of acting the way that you look. It's like that expression, dance like nobody's watching, right? Like if you're always dancing the way that other people want you to dance or because there's eyes on you, you're never going to dance the way that feels the most natural. It's the same way with just being, right? Like you look at yourself in the mirror, maybe you're making funny faces or whatever. Maybe if you're younger, you remove that mirror and you start just acting what comes naturally. You act the way that you want to act instead of just acting the way others expect you to. Secondly, when you don't have the mirror there, you stop stressing about the small stuff, like, the pimple on your cheek or the cowlick, in your in your hair. All these little things that, guys, most people don't notice. What's amazing about our obsession with superficiality, and I always tell this to friends or siblings if they're concerned, is people care a hell of a lot less than you think. People care less than you do. You get a little blackhead on your face, and you immediately say, oh, everyone's going to notice this. Everyone's going to judge me for this. Everyone's going to laugh at me. Like, most people probably won't even notice. You review your appearance with a fine-tooth comb. Most people do not look at one another with that much detail on a day-to-day basis. So, those are the first two reasons why maybe you should stop looking in the mirror so much. And also, and this is maybe the most important one, the more focused you are on yourself, the less focused you are on the world around you. When you walk around, on a beautiful sunny day, if you're spending time glancing at the storefront, windows, you're not going to see, the greenery or, the other people around you or, the architecture, whatever whatever you might appreciate in your setting. You're going to be so focused inwardly, you can't be focused outwardly. So that's an important thing, an important benefit of taking time to stop looking at your reflection. So I challenge you, just try to do that for a day. Or if you can't do it for a day, try to do that for a couple hours. Go to the... set foot in a bathroom without looking at yourself in the mirror. And I'm sure you guys have all been in restaurant bathrooms where they don't have a mirror. You go to like a hole-in-the-wall Mexican place and there's no mirror in the bathroom, and you wonder to yourself, like, how does anyone do this? You've always... I know I've experienced that dissonance. But, go a day without looking in the mirror once, and, it has to be a day where you're out in public. I don't want you guys to, spend all Sunday in bed watching Netflix, ordering takeout and not looking in the mirror from sunrise to sunset and saying like, oh, I listened to Ricky, I didn't look in the mirror. No. A day where you go out in public, try it and see how you feel.